welcome, welcome, welcome to the pod. You are listening, watching, oh my gosh, you were listening to What the Reality with me, Cashay Roberts. What is good, you guys? I am back in my hometown for now until the next trip. I'm back from Cowboy Carter. It was amazing. My voice is not doing the best, but I still am like, let me hop on this mic and record for you guys because the tea has been happening this whole weekend and I have to get to the bottom of it. But what is going on? Cowboy Carter was amazing. My nails are blue. I never have blue nails. If you guys know me, my friends know I stay with red nail polish. I no longer wear white nail polish on my fingers because of the Diddy of it all. And that's the rule. And I wear pinks. But I'm a red nail girl. So the fact that I have blue nails right now shows how committed I was to Cowboy Carter. It was an amazing concert. That's all I can literally say because the venue, I went in Maryland, I was in DC. The venue was not it. And I've been there before for the weekend. I went. That show was terribly organized on the venue side. I don't know if they were not. I went for the 4th of July show. I don't know if they were not expecting the outcome. Terribly managed. You could be walking, just trying to get to another side of the stadium. It was cut off. I swear, like half the stadium was cut off. So you have all this traffic. Super packed like sardines. Like you couldn't even move. The bathroom line insane, the alcohol line insane, food lines insane. Shout out to the girl, the woman that spotted me and my sister waiting to get drinks. She was from Atlanta. Don't even know her name, but she was like, I'm from Atlanta. Money talks. How much for me to get in this line with y'all? Because the line was crazy. And we were going to say no until she was like, I will literally pay for your drinks. And you guys know how expensive stadium drinks are. We were looking at $60 for stadium drinks together, but still it's like $30. I mean, especially if you want some real liquor. I told her to hop in. She bought us her drinks. Shout out to the girl, and they were like single or double. She let us have double. Shout out to girl from Atlanta. So that I felt like was the only good part about arriving there. So we arrived to the stadium. So we left out at 5. The show starts at 7. She didn't go on until 9, which I'm glad because I think from what I've seen, she normally goes on like there was like a 7:53 I saw, and then there was like a 8:30. She went on at like at 9. I think like 8:58 to be exact or something. We were super nervous we're gonna miss her. We were still in the liquor line at like 7:47. People were screaming. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to rush. I mean, we were literally like rushing to our seat. Our seats were really good. However, my beef with SeatGeek is like, why was SeatGeek in charge of that one show? Because they weren't in charge of the July 7th show that's happening while I'm recording. I think it was Ticketmaster. It was very weird. Like 4th of July, SeatGeek probably like worked a deal. I'm never going to do SeatGeek again because I just feel like it was just a terrible experience. Like I was going to check out initially, and I talked about this before, and my section was 100 looking straight forward. It rerouted me to section 220, which is fine. I could still see the screen, thankfully, but they rerouted me from section 100 to 220. And I wasn't straight on anymore. I could still see the screen though, which was a really big deal for me because Renaissance, I could not see the screen because I moved down to my friend. I was super close to Beyonce, but we were all the way on the side and I could not see the screen. So I did want to see the visuals, was happy I could see the visuals. My section was okay. The people were not lit. The people did not know the words. And I feel like that was kind of just like, what are you doing at a Beyonce concert? Like sitting down, not knowing the words. Maybe for the vibes. Also feel like it was crazy to hear how much people paid for those seats because I only paid like I've said like $246 for those. And then it's crazy how much they also paid during the pre-sale, because I was trying to get into the Beehive pre-sale, because you think that's like the best of the best pre-sale. I didn't get tickets until the artist pre-sale. The Beehive pre-sale, the tickets were ridiculous. Like, I was not paying that much, maybe for floor, you know what I mean? But like, the seats I was seeing during Beehive sale was not worth the price. So I was like, there's no way I'm paying that. People I was sitting next to pay like $600 for my seats. And I was just kind of like, yikes. But it's like, it's all a learning curve, because I will be at the next show. I'm not going back to DC though for a concert. Love DC. I love that area. I want to move there. But I'm never going there for a concert, because the walk into the concert is legit insane. It's a legit stadium. Been to SoFi Stadium. That walk isn't even that bad. I've been to the Detroit Stadium now. I've been to some stadiums. The walk to, it used to be called the FedEx Field. It is now it is now called the Northwest Field as of 2024. So that was a real quick switch from what I'm used to. So I was trying to find some. I'm like, what's the name of the stadium? I was there. It's called the Northwest now. That walk in the traffic is insane. So we left out at 5, maybe like 5:15, in hopes of, like, we were only 30 minutes from the stadium, so we're hoping they give us an hour, like, you know, with traffic and everything. We were stuck at that same light to get into the stadium for like 20 minutes. Me and my sister had to use the bathroom. It was kind of like, would you rather sit and pee, or would you rather walk towards the venue and pee? So we got out and we had to walk, and it was miles because it's like downhill. And even though it was close, it was a walk, because that stadium is just so far out. It's very far. Like, it's like you get to the venue and the stadium itself is still like another 5 miles of walking. So I'm like, this is why I would never go back to that stadium again. The show was amazing. Even the walk leaving, you're walking for miles in that stadium. It's not a good stadium, in my opinion. The show was amazing. My voice is like in and out, incoming a scratchy throat in a couple of days. But I will say, she did not perform 16 Carriages. 16 Carriages was never the single for me. I mean, do I know the lyrics? Of course. But when she dropped the 2 singles, it was Texas Hold'em, especially that Pony remix, like, on period. 16 Carriages was not performed. There's a lot of camaraderie about, like, because of the car tilt in Houston, like, she almost like fell out the car. It was like, it really could have been a life-altering experience for her. And I think it altered that much, or it was like that affecting to her, that she's decided not to do 16 Carriages. Totally understand. However, I will say that was missing from the show. I will say I would have loved to still see 16 Carriages, but I didn't need it. I think she threw in some other stuff too. The show was like 2 hours. People are saying she's not dancing anymore. I mean, she's 43, you guys. Like, if she wants to work on vocals, work on vocals. She sounds even better than ever. I'm not really, but she puts on a show. So it's not even like I'm looking for her to still be, you know, doing her freakum dress choreography and stuff. Now that I've been to Renaissance, I've been to Lemonade, Renaissance, Cowboy Carter, definitely going to Act 3. Definitely want to go international for that one. But I will say, till this day, Renaissance is still probably the best show I've been to. It's just up there. Amazing discography, choreography, format, everything. But what I will say, which was really amazing about this show, is seeing Blue kind of step into her own. I'm very interested to see what she's gonna do. Is it just dance she's interested in, or is she taking voice lessons? Like, it's very interesting to watch Blue transform into her mom. The show was amazing. Only complaints I have is the venue. The venue was terrible. That whole process was terrible. Outfit was cute. Can you believe I didn't get any pictures? Yes, I do have cute selfies though. Took a lot of cute selfies. But I don't know, I used to be a photo person, but I really do not take photos unless I have enough time, and I thought I was leaving with enough time. The people are religious down there. They were so religious. Like, Northwest had to issue statements saying, like, we're not opening the stadium until 2:30, because people will literally camp out there. I couldn't get any merch, but it's fine, because I got 2 Cowboy Carter tops when she dropped the album, and I didn't see any merch like I needed besides the specific Washington, D.C. one. I really didn't want that one. The merch lines were insane. I just think the setup was insane. I think a lot of people that go to tonight's show are going to have better luck because I am filming this on Monday. And then she has 2 weeks left of her tour. I'm looking forward to the next album. It was amazing that I got a chance to still relive Renaissance. Me and Beyonce all day, every day, locked in. I will support that lady no matter what she does. The only thing I have not tried now is Sir Davis. I'm not a dark person. When it comes to liquor, I may have to try that because people say it is good. I feel like my face is so swollen from all the liquor I drank this weekend. I'm taking a break until my birthday, which is literally in 3 weeks now, and I will be somewhere else, you guys, because YOLO, why the heck not? But that was my Cowboy Carter experience. Amazing show. Terrible venue. Let's get into this toxic, but it is Tuesday. Let's talk about who is being toxic. Let's get into these reality topics. Let's talk about who's being toxic, which is literally Bravo Network, because as of last week, Real Housewives of Atlanta was going to be on Sunday, and I would have been talking about the first reunion part. I think it's bizarre that all of a sudden it's not coming on. Was that always in the schedule? I don't think it was. I think it was supposed to be coming on, and now all of a sudden it's not coming on. And it's very weird to me because I'm like, wait, when did that happen? Like, it's super weird to me, but I think that's a little toxic because I was really excited to talk about the first part. But it's fine. Everything works out for a reason, because when I tell y'all, I got in yesterday. I'm recording Monday, so I got in on Sunday, and I was knocked out by 7 p.m. after I did everything I needed to do. I was knocked out. Also, Sinners is on HBO Max. I've already watched it once. I'm probably going to watch it again at night. I love Sinners. If you guys have not watched it, it's on HBO Max. It went out 4th of July. As it should. Speaking of 4th of July, that's when I went to the concert. People are upset that Beyonce has this obsession with America and the flag. And all I can say is, if you do not understand the significance of her performing Cowboy Carter at our nation's capital on the 4th of July, when the first song is literally called American Requiem, you should really take up reading and comprehension, because it's not clicking. I'm not here to explain it. And she's not here to explain it either. Everything makes sense as to what she's did it, why she's done it, and I really will commend her on that. She's smart, and she will always prove to be ahead of the game. Everything is super calculating when it comes to her. So the fact that people are like, oh my gosh, why would you be celebrating and wearing this when our nation is literally not free right now? I would challenge you guys to listen to the album and open up your ears and listen to the lyrics, because it all makes sense as why she did it. And even closing out, it was a Statue of Liberty that started to rise, and it has a cape over it, or a scarf. And I think throughout that show, she has proven time and time again how it's so ironic how she is singing about a free world and how, we want to be free, but really we aren't free. And it's crazy that she's doing that in the nation's capital. But I could write a whole essay on that, because that has a whole other meaning of significance that a lot of people just don't really get. They just think she's MAGA, when it's that cannot be the total opposite to the truth. Since when? But I will tell you who was. All the celebrities that was at that Bezos wedding that I'm not even talking about. But your faves that went to the Bezos wedding, those are definitely MAGA. Those are the ones that were super happy that a certain person won. Anyway, let's get into these reality topics. Let's keep it a little lighthearted before I want to talk about some reality TV after the reality topics. Cardi B and Stefan Diggs have now deleted each other from social media. I've been watching this because I'm all here for the rapper girlies, the singer girlies, Tiana Taylor, Halle Bailey, moving on and finding their happily ever after and not letting these men walk all over them. So I was happy for Cardi B, even though I knew the whole Stefan Diggs thing was not going to last. And the fact that Offset is now upset, as Tia Kemp says on his social media, saying this is why Cardi will always come back to me, trying to clown Stefan, doing all of this in the midst of you filing for spousal support and all of this stuff. When it's I swear if Cardi B goes back to him, she will be the ultimate joke. It's not even funny. She'll almost be as much as a joke as Mariah the Scientist to me. I'm just if you literally go back to him after this, you can break up with Stefan We all know that. I mean, that man is a whore. Like a hard WH as well. Like, I wasn't expecting much. But if she goes back to Offset, if the Offset literally has humiliated her, that's one thing I can't stand by with women, is going back to a man that constantly is deciding to humiliate you. So I hope that's not what's going to happen. Other than that, what happened? Because just June 25th, she was posting on her Instagram that he literally rented out a castle for them to stay in, because she said she's never heard of a castle or something she said, and then he literally rented out a whole castle, and it was insane. It was like totally like Greek, like Mediterranean vibes. And then I guess like 2 weeks later, they're both wiping each other off social media. I mean, I'm not shocked. It was a lustful relationship, but I'm just glad she was able to get her lick back with that whole Offset and him constantly cheating on her, because that's what it really matters, getting your lick back, still knowing you're that girl. Do not go back to Offset, Cardi. I really am pleading with you not to do that. Also want to say hi to my new listeners, because I do check those stats. Make sure you guys are still following my show on the podcast. Make sure you are still giving it me 5 stars, because I do know I have some new listeners. So hello. Okay, let's get into some more Beyonce news. So Beyonce and The Weeknd are allegedly supposed to be performing at the halftime show at the World Cup for 2026. To my surprise, I didn't even know there was a halftime show, because I just wouldn't know a thing. But period, I think that goes back to even Lemonade. 6-inch, so Lemonade stands can literally stand up. That is gonna be a full circle moment. The Weeknd and Beyonce, literally 2 people I've seen before twice. I mean, I've seen The Weeknd twice now, and I've seen Beyonce over 2 times. That is crazy that they're both gonna be headlining. I'm assuming they're gonna probably have another song coming out together. And then they're also going to perform 6-inch. I think that'll be a performance of a lifetime, because The Weeknd can also perform, or he has a decent amount of performers, and so does, Beyonce. She can put on a show. I think they both can, and it's very interesting because Beyonce opened the show and like all the dancers had like blue capes on, and I did go to The Weeknd's. His was similar as to like the show before, but all of his dancers came out in red, and it's normally like to signify like Handmaid's Tales or whatever, but hers is obviously like this whole freedom. But I do notice the parallels, and I'm like, I would not be shocked if like they're actually like really good friends and stuff. And I even think like Kendrick Lamar's dancers come out in all black. It's just interesting to me, like certain colors they use. But yes, so they're in talks to be headlining the show together. So I don't know if that means a Weeknd and Beyonce albums coming out. I doubt it. Or like, I don't understand what they mean together. Like, is she gonna go? He's not. She's not going on first. He has to go on first. And then his song will transition to 6-inch, whatever new song they got coming out. And it'll be a Beyonce performance. I just wonder how that'll go. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's like Beyonce and Jay-Z performing, but hey, I'm here for it. So let's figure out, I don't know who's more toxic. Aaron Phypers for filing for divorce from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, OG TV star Denise Richards, ex Charlie Sheen, or Julia from Real Housewives of Miami, which I definitely want to talk about, or Charlie from Next Gen NYC. We definitely have to talk about that. Let's get into what this divorce alleges, because man, so Denise Wild Things was literally just on earlier this year, and I think it filmed last year. So to my shock, he has filed for divorce. They were together for 6 years. He's citing irreconcilable differences as the reason for their split, and says the date of separation was July 4th, literally 3 days ago. So he could not be thirsty to get this out here in the news. So they have I don't know why the article's written like this. It says they have no minor children together. They don't have any children together, period. He didn't adopt her children. So now, He's seeking spousal support from Denise, estimating she's grossing over $250K a month from OnlyFans, TV brands, deals, and appearances, and says he has no income. I thought he had a business, like a gym business or something. Aaron's filing gives a peek into the strange couples. This is from TMZ. He estimates on average they spend $105K a month, including $20K on clothes, $18K on rent, $15K on eating out, $15K on entertainment, $10K on groceries, and $8K on utilities. He says Denise has been footing the bill this whole time. Denise's estranged husband also wants the court to confirm some property he says belongs to him, mostly power tools. Are you serious? A 2018 Indian Dark Horse motorcycle and a Ford Shelby GT 500. Yeah, so they got engaged September 8th, 2018. This is both of their second divorce. I'm shocked because genuinely looked like he was like obsessed with her. Like they have an amazing, sex life. That's really all they talk about. He loved her kids from what I can understand. He held her down on Beverly Hills. Very interested to see what those differences were. And I'm shocked because, like I said, they were just on this reality show. I didn't finish Denise Wild Things because I just thought it was a little fake. But not their relationship. I just thought the daughters, like, back and forth was very fake and forced. So that's very interesting to me that he's like wanting $200K in spousal, or he's just seeking spousal support. Also interesting to me that he's saying she makes about $250K a month, but they spend about half of that. They spend about half of it in a month. So I don't know how smart that is. It doesn't sound smart to me. I think she probably makes more than $250K a month, but the likelihood of him getting anything besides his power tools and motorcycle is very slim. Like you're not, I will be shocked if he's granted spousal support. So they got married when? Because wait, is there a thing in California? Because we know there's a thing for the 10 years with Dorit and PK. Let's see if they got married September 8th, 2018. So they were just about to be at 7 years this September. So I just wonder why he waited, and he literally divorced her or filed the 4th of July, and this is all coming out. People are saying he was an opportunist, very thirsty for money, and a loser. Okay, they're not saying he's a loser. I'm saying he's a loser. But he was a hot loser. So genuinely shocked by that. But then again, nothing in Beverly Hills shocks me. It's all very fake down there. It's all very putting on a front. It's about, in Beverly Hills, it's not about wealth. It's about money. And money talks, wealth whispers. So that's what the streets have always said. Will she be back on Beverly Hills if she can perform? Whenever Denise is on Beverly Hills, it's like she's in the middle of a brain fart, a word fart, and she can never spit out her sentences. So it's frustrating as a viewer to watch, especially when you could really come at these girls with some serious stuff and she never does. So I don't know if I even want her back on Beverly Hills. I do now want Denise and her Wild Things to get renewed again, because maybe she'll talk about it on that show, but she's not going to talk about it with these ladies questioning her. I just don't think it'll be organic. But now I'm like, should I finish the Wild Things and see was there any like hints of trouble in paradise? Because that's genuinely shocking to me that he filed for divorce. I don't know, especially if you don't have any money, like, and you're just trying to get spousal support now. I don't really think he's going to get spousal support. You were only married for 6 years. I could see spousal support if you're married 10 plus years. I don't think he's going to get spousal support. I really don't. But I don't know the law in Los Angeles. I mean, in the state of California, city of Los Angeles. Okay, so that man is definitely being toxic. Let's talk about Nene Leakes and the reason she turned down Traders. So Nene went on Cynthia's. She went on Cynthia's and what's her name? Why do I keep forgetting Crystal's name from Beverly Hills? She went on the Humble Brag podcast, and essentially they were like, well, there was rumors that you were on Traders, and she had actually talked about it with Cynthia. And she was like, they were like, is the reason you are no longer on Traders is because of the money? And she said basically, no, I can get a check whenever. She said that she is no longer on Traders because, or she could not do Traders because her son is still in the hospital. So I know it was Brett or whatever he did. I think he's in the hospital for, I don't know. I'm going to have to really look it up. He's in the hospital though, and he's been there since May. And she's saying she did not want to leave him to go film this show while he's still in the hospital. Also, she talks about if she would ever come back on Real Housewives of Atlanta and as in a friend role. This was what Cynthia was asking her because, you know, Cynthia is the infamous, famous friend on all of these franchises. She is a friend of she was a friend on Bravo's Love Hotel, on Beverly Hills, and now Atlanta. And Cynthia has made it very loud, and she's like, I enjoy being the friend more than the housewife because I don't have to bring my man on there. I don't have to bring my serious problems on there. Like, I can just film when I want and then I can leave. Nene basically said she likes the friend role, but she doesn't know how that would work with her being, you know, the ultimate OG. Like, season 1, she started the show. She doesn't understand how it would come off with her being the friend of. Like, she doesn't know if she could do that. But she says she's been the friend, but Cynthia was like, you've never been the friend, like, ever. But yes, so I don't know. Could you guys see Nene Leakes in a friend role? I personally could, because I don't think Nene also is at a point right now in her life where she wants to disclose everything, but we do want to see her back on the screen. And I do think even if she was a friend of, maybe then she could work her way to Housewives. I just need to see Nene back on. I just need to see her back on the show very, very, very soon. Hopefully it can be very, very soon. Okay, let's talk about Diddy's verdict. So this did come in, what was this, last week? It came in when I wasn't filming. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. So clearly he was acquitted of all of those charges except for transportation and the RICO charges. Sex trafficking he was acquitted of, but he was not acquitted of, well, was it acquitted? He just wasn't found guilty on those charges. He was found guilty on transportation of prostitution. So this is the act of engaging in prostitution and basically transporting these prostitutes, which we heard he has done. So the 3 charges he was not found guilty on, which is like the RICO and the sex trafficking, which could have literally sentenced him to life in prison, has become a huge, outrageous backlash and conversation on, you know, social media, just essentially like how, like, we never believe the woman, because essentially everything Cassie said that happened to her and everything that she had to do falls under what he was not found guilty of. So people are saying we don't protect women. I agree. Yada, yada, yada. I agree. The RICO, I'm shocked he wasn't convicted of that either. But he still is facing up to 20 years in prison. I think it's minimum 10 to 20 years. And I think I'm hoping he does have to serve at least 5 years. Say the judge gives him the minimum 10. He'll probably have to do 7, 8. He'll probably get out on good behavior for 5. They'll try to get it down to 3 or 4. He'll be back here in the streets. Or he will most likely be pardoned by someone that's in office. You can't really write this stuff. So it's just kind of like, it is what it is. And that's what the jury has found. The jury has found that he wasn't, and the jury also did watch these freak off tapes. So, I don't know. He's going to remain in prison until his sentencing, which is going to take place in October, which is good. Apparently he got a standing ovation from his fellow inmates after the news was released that he was found not guilty on those 2 charges. So I don't know. I really don't have much to say about that one because it's just kind of like, But I really want to talk about the reality V topics. I have to remember to do that because I've been watching some shows. So last Toxic, but it's Tuesday, I really wanted to talk about someone that has been extremely toxic, which is Nelly. And I forgot to talk about that because I had so much other stuff I was talking about that last Tuesday. But I definitely want to talk about Nelly and Ashanti's reality show. Nelly and Ashanti, we belong together. Also, don't know why it's the name of that because when I think of that, unless it's shade towards Mariah Carey. But no, Mariah Carey wrote her own songs. I think, if anything, she would be shading J-Lo because apparently Ashanti would be singing on all of that stuff. That's the real tea. But the reality show We Belong Together was 8 episodes. It was on Peacock. The whole season was out. I was actually getting my hair done. And I finished the whole series at my braider's salon. And I had started it already, so I was already like super giddy to finish it, but we like restarted it. And like I said, it's 8 episodes, like most 30 minutes. It's not too much. I think the first episode was like 45 minutes or something. But I was really excited to start it. It started off really much on a high for me. I was thoroughly enjoying it. I could tell. My argument this whole time has been like, you can just tell he really loves her. You know, she's clearly going through postpartum and she's stressed out about her body. And he's always checking in on her mental and just like, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, you know, you look good. And that stuff matters, especially after you just have your first kid, especially she's older. Like, as you get older, it's harder to lose the weight, all of that stuff. And I just felt like he was super excited to have her back in his life. It wasn't until episode 5 where I was just kind of like, what are we doing? So around, and I watched this now like 2 weeks ago, so it's kind of hard for me to remember, but I just feel like he is super jealous of KK, their newborn. And I feel like he's a narcissist. He reminds me of a lot of men that, you know, when their partners have their kid, Lord, don't let it be a son. A girl is different. Like, you're not really jealous of the girl. You're jealous of the new man in your significant other's life. And let's really have a conversation about it. Like, for real, that's the real tea. It's never the daughter you're jealous of. It's, as a man, it's always the son. Because, like I said, this new man is in your partner's life and their energy is going towards them. It had to be said. So I felt like throughout the season, he's like throwing cheap shots at his son. It's really weird and uncomfortable to watch as a viewer. Like, he's like, man, I'm getting sick of KK. Or KK got more photo shoots than me. Or trying to wake KK up when he's clearly like asleep on the tour bus. He did something else. He was like, I don't have anything for him until he can start talking and telling me he got to go pee. Like, this is the man you chose to settle down with. This man is saying he has nothing for his newborn son. She can have more kids as long as we get the nannies. Like, she's gonna have all the help she needs. So in one way, it's like all of his kids are grown. You know, he has kids. He had his kids early on. They're all grown now. Like, they're well over. They're closer to their like 30s and like they're entering like their early 30s. Like, that's that. And then. So we have that situation, and then that's like you're kind of starting all over. So I can understand like a frustration with that, but it just comes off as like, well, KK is taking you away from me. Like, I'm no longer important. And I don't know, some of it's joking, but it becomes this ongoing thing as the series goes on. He's like, I'm forgotten about. And I feel like a lot of narcissists play it that way to kind of see how much you're going to joke back with them until it's like not a joke. And I think for me, it was really when he was like, I'm sick of him. Because he definitely said that. I don't know what episode that was, but it was very weird. And it just reminds me of a lot of men. It reminds me of a lot of narcissists. A lot of men and narcissists are like very jealous of the fact that the newborn, the first kid is often a son. And if it's not, I'm telling you, it's never the woman. It's never a woman having a daughter. It's always when that woman has a son. It's like you kind of see him as your competition. So that was that. I also feel like he just didn't really support her. I won't forget in that series also, you know, she says, like, how do you not wake up when you hear him crying? Like, it's scary, the fact that your partner's not waking up when you hear the baby crying. And he's just like, yeah, I hear that y'all be doing that, but like, I sleep right through it. And it's just like, I just felt like he was gaslighting her the whole time. Let's not fail to mention him totally downplaying his performance for the inauguration, which he totally got a lot of backlash for. So we see those moments leading up to him making his decision. He reasoned it with, you know, he grew up on military base, like you respect the commander in chief, a bunch of BS. He related that to the reason as to why he's performing for the total person in office. That's why he related it to that. And because that's his upbringing. Even though a lot of his family, which he did hint at, did not respect what he was doing or did not like the fact, but they respected it. He totally downplays it, and it doesn't take him long to make a decision. Ashanti is on mute, which was very crazy to see because I feel like she's been very vocal that whole season, and I felt like her going mute like kind of spoke more than her talking. I don't think she supported it at all, but I think she was in like a pickle. Even her mom spoke out about it, and her mom was like, because he came in at one point, like during the last episode, and was like, it's not a big deal. And it's like, it's a big deal because you're saying it's not a big deal now, because like, you know, it's a big deal. So even Ashanti's mom was like, it's a big deal. And she was genuinely shocked. Ashanti's grandparents, great grandparents have worked with MLK Jr. So yeah, him totally downplaying that and him saying like, I've never been invited to perform at any of the other ones. Maybe because you're irrelevant now and your music's not Poppington and you're just not first caller up. I just wonder why you were called. You were called for that vote. And he's like, for that, to sway the black people's opinion. At the end of the day, he's like saying he's doing it for the scholarships and stuff. And it's like, I would be very curious to know his opinion now, because those same scholarships he's saying he was hoping to get secured for the kids that he takes care of, like, you know, the schools and stuff, because has a very big presence in St. Louis. Like, that's his city. He does not want to move to New York City. That was another ongoing thing. He's very active, proactive in his community in St. Louis. So those same scholarships you're claiming that you're going to be receiving and getting from this man just totally axed it all. And then he was like, for those that are saying I'm a DEI performance, I would ask them, do you even believe in DEI? I was like, okay, so you're uneducated, you make no sense, and you're just dumb. Because that made no sense. And then it's like the same DEI stuff you're talking about is the same stuff that got slashed for the scholarships. So are the scholarships still going on in St. Louis, or are you the exception because you perform for him and it's like an IOU? Or were you just a number to kind of help turn public opinion? I want more for Ashanti, but hey, she seems happy. But I will say, she seemed happy. So this was filmed over the course of a year, I'm pretty sure. Or, yeah, kind of like half a year. Because I think her birthday was like in September, and they finished filming around like the inauguration. They didn't really talk about it. They talked about it like after he was done doing it, and they were talking about how much backlash, and he wasn't expecting like people to come for his kid and Ashanti. Like, he's like, you can come for me all you want, but don't come for, you know, Ashanti and my kid. But what do you expect? Especially when Ashanti was like on mute. But I don't condone it. But I'm just saying, like, when you don't really speak up, I understand you gotta like protect your partner in the public. But I am curious, because it's like, I thought we were gonna get her side of it. And whenever a producer asked her a question, she didn't want to talk about it. So I did not like that, like, at all. I thought it was kind of like wimpy and cowardly. But I will say, like, the beginning of the season, I felt like they were on the same book, page, chapter. And then as it progressed, I just felt like they were like on separate chapters. Like, I don't know how happy she was, but I don't want to psychoanalyze anyone because it's not my business. But I'm just saying, like, it definitely was giving like she was over that man. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Somebody else is being extremely toxic this Tuesday, and we got to talk about it. It's Julia. I don't even know Julia's last name. I don't care to learn it or look it up. Julia from Real Housewives of Miami. That is how I know her. She is taking no accountability in this next episode, which really makes me think she got a warning from production. Hey, so sorry what you and Martina are going through, but however, we need you to step it up this season or you will not be asked back as a full-time housewife. And now it just seems like she's like picking at her friends. I think it's interesting how she's thrown Adriana under the bus. I think it's crazy that she's taken no accountability with the whole Gertie of it all. I'm glad Gertie did not go to her baby shower for the boys. It is confirmed that she did get a facelift while Martina was getting treatment. So it makes me wonder if something going on between her and Martina, because why the heck are you getting a facelift? Also, she talks about how Martina said something that was super wild to me, which is crazy because you guys have adopted 2 black boys. She said that, well, it's Gertie's nature to attack. And I'm just like, what does that mean? It's Gertie's nature to attack. Are you saying because she is a black woman, it's in her nature? Because you just adopted 2 black boys. It's weird. I think it's very weird how they adopted 2 black boys. And I don't know if anyone else is going to say, I think it's also very weird that the agency would let them adopt those 2 black boys given Martina's health and their age. But that's why I will always say money talks, wealth whispers, because they were probably able to show a good dollar amount to that agency. And that's how that exchange happened. I think it's very interesting, though, that they adopted 2 black boys and you're saying all of this stuff about Gertie. Do with that what you will. What else is happening? So I saw an interview with Dr. Alexia and I think Dr. Tina from Dallas, which I never watched, but I think that was her. Where she was like, and I don't know if this is an old clip or if this just resurfaced or if this is a new clip, but she said that she used to get anxiety filming. I think this is a new clip because Marisol hired a private detective to track Dr. Nicole and Anthony's whereabouts. And she said she would get so much anxiety from filming because she never knew if this person was following them. I guess Marisol was just looking to find her in something because Marisol was sick of being a friend of. And I'm shocked because I thought that was Marisol's, I thought that was her bid, or I thought she wanted to be friend of. I thought I read that somewhere that she did not want to be a full-time housewife because it was too much commitment. So I don't know if this is all to be true. This is all alleged. I don't know if Marisol has been wanting to become a full-time housewife. I can believe it. She's in just as many scenes as Alexia, the Cuban doll, but I thought her deal with Bravo was like, hey, I don't want to be a full-time housewife, but I'll give you XYZ in her contract. So I am shocked to hear that. She apparently hired a private detective to tell Dr. Nicole. And this also brings me to Stephanie. On Miami. I like Stephanie, first impressions. She's cool or whatever. I don't really know her besides that she's Larsa's friend, so I'm kind of always like, what are you doing with a girl like Larsa? But they brought on Stephanie to really shake Nicole and try to really get her out of her, cool, because Nicole's cool. She's super confident, she's hot, she's young, and she got a job. She has a job, a legit job that pays. I cannot remember the name, but she handles breathing and tubing, post-surgery, all that stuff, making sure the patient's in care, all of this stuff. She's a doctor, Dr. Nicole. What is her title? Wait, because I hate that I cannot remember this. Let me look it up. Dr. Nicole career. And yes, an anesthesiologist. Something that Aunt Amory isn't on Beverly Hills. Let me stop. Not Amory catching a random stray. Yes, an anesthesiologist. That is what Dr. Nicole is. Something that Larsa claimed was not a real job. But posting pictures of your feet is, apparently. Anyway, So Dr. Nicole got that going on, and then she also has a man who is, I think he's a real estate mogul or something. Like, he got money. She barely has to tap into her doctor money, is what I'm saying. The girls have been mad, and Dr. Nicole was a favorite. I think Dr. Nicole took a step back. She saw the Stephanie attack from the side. Also, Dr. Nicole had her baby, her daughter, very premature, very early. I don't think she wanted to be in a stressful environment. She's probably going through postpartum. Her daughter's okay now. That is good. But I'm just saying, I don't think Nicole really had time for the BS this season. And she even talks about that in one of the Instagram comments. She's like, I'm so upset Gertie has to go through this alone. Like, I don't know what's going on with Julia. Like, basically saying she's Team Gertie, which I think a lot of the women are, but they just hate Gertie because she does too much, when honestly Alexia and Marisol and Larsa and Lisa do a lot as well. It's crazy to me. It's like they want Gertie to like dim down her shine because she's a black woman. And it's crazy because you see the optics in Miami, like the most diverse place ever. You get inbreds, you get, you know, a mix of this, a little that. You get gringos, as Alexia called Todd. But it's like, for some reason, Gertie's socially not acceptable, but Kiki is. But Kiki, don't wait. Don't worry, they will turn on you, just as I'm sure they're turning on Bose this season for Beverly Hills. But Marisol has allegedly done that, and she's playing dirty. And the thing is, you never win when you play dirty, as Nene Leakes would say, because you're still not a housewife. And here Nicole isn't even on the show. Dr. Nicole's not even on the show, and you're still not a housewife. So she really did all that, and you still didn't get that mojito. What does that say about you and the effort you went through? Which is why I think they brought Stephanie. They dug into Anthony's past. Let's get his ex on here. And it's like, Dr. Nicole not even here. And then when she do come, she's like, I do want to meet Stephanie because I think we're going to be very similar and very like. She's not even threatened by it. And they hate that. Justice for Dr. Nicole. I hope she comes back next season. I really do. I love Dr. Nicole. I think she's such a well-rounded individual to have on this show. Besides that happened in Miami, Alexia is giving Todd the benefit of the doubt too much for my liking. Too much for my liking. She is leaving it in his hands to figure out if they should divorce, if they should push it back. It was pushed back from what we were seeing, even though he packed up his entire house in front of your kid, didn't say a word after making love to you and using you. Alexia is not smart, but she's a hopeless romantic. I don't even know if that's a hopeless romantic. I think she falls in love too quick, probably. But I wouldn't say she's the smartest when it comes to love. She does kind of remind me of a Teresa when it comes to that, because there's no way this man already filed for divorce and now you're like, I'm going to leave it in his hands again. I think even Marisol's like losing respect for her friend. It just sucks to see your friend down bad over a man that's like, don't really even got it going on. So that's that. And then Lisa and Larsa, I need this feud to continue forever, because Lisa is now sending pictures of her dead dad in a casket to Larsa to tell her, this is what I'm going through. And you can't even laugh at something like that, but you have no choice to laugh, because it's like, Lisa, what the heck? Like, she sent a picture of her dad in the casket to Larsa. I feel like that one Nene Leakes gif when she's like, I am tired. And then she just says this. Like, I cannot believe Lisa did that. And Larsa is now saying there is something wrong with Jody's eyes. And I'm not going to lie, his eyes do look crazy. And they all saying their eyes look the same, but they're like, that's what type of eyes he has. I don't understand why the ratings for Miami are not higher. I think Miami is just so good for it not to have higher ratings, because now we're talking about someone's eyes and the way they smile. Larsa also thinks he is an opportunist. I don't think that. I don't get that at all from Jody. But the fact we are sending caskets to friends and sending pictures of eyes, I mean, it just looked like the flash hit him the wrong way. But if that's what we're running with, if this is the season we're having, I'm here for it, because there's just so much going on. Besides Julia, because she's just doing too much for me. The storylines are feeding me. And I wish they were feeding the Bravo audience because their ratings are just getting lower and lower. I think they had like the premiere had like 250K, and now I think they're at like 189K viewers, and it just sucks because I feel like when it was on Peacock it was doing better, but Bravo couldn't stand that, so they're like, let's take that show back and put it on Bravo. But you're not even promoting it as you would any other shows. Like, they've been promoting OC came out of nowhere, and it's like promotion, 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 promotion. You can just tell they don't really give that same energy to Miami. They didn't give it to Martha's Vineyard. I will never let that go. They didn't give it to Family Karma. I never really got into it. They barely give it to Below Deck, I feel like. And I love Below Deck, but that Below Deck's going to keep coming on. They pick and choose who's their favorite, and it's very, like, upsetting. They were doing that to Married to Medicine the longest, but it kept getting renewed. And now they're like, okay. But then you want to keep giving shows like RHONY, the reboot, a chance when you have an actual good show right here in Miami, and you're not really giving into it. You're not pouring into it. It's just really sad to see. Let's talk about Next Gen NYC before we talk about Love Island USA. I don't really like to talk about Love Island USA, but I have some thoughts. So Next Gen NYC, Charlie is crazy. He's calling Georgia a delusional bee because she took his speaker, never gave it back. Now, she was trying to hold on to that speaker. She has some more events coming up, and they didn't have a speaker, and it's apparently a really good speaker. Because I will say, the way she was dodging him, like, ask me tomorrow, ask me Monday. He kept asking. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm busy. Ask me the next day. She was using that speaker, I fear. She likes his speaker, but she eventually gives it back, and they meet up, and it's just like a ticking time bomb. I'm watching this literally on the airplane, by the way. I downloaded it. I like Next Gen NYC. I'm really excited for this season. I'm excited to see if Next Gen LA comes out, but it's literally like they're just sitting there, and then she's also there with her partner for her event. What is it? Event space. It's not an event space, but it's like an event company that she has. She's like sitting there eating lunch with her, and then it's like this just goes off, and he's like, you're delusional bee, you're poor. And then we learned that she's like, well, how am I poor? I pay for myself when you're getting 10K allowance from your dad. We're also learning that Charlie allegedly is having money issues. I think he owes too many people. He's trying to impress the girls too much, but he's using his inheritance a lot. And it's like, when your dad, like, you're not going to have much inheritance left because you keep using it to pay off all this other stuff, but then he's not paying his friends back. And yeah, he's like balling out, inviting like 6-7 girls to their section. The girls are drinking up the liquor, not speaking to no one in the section, just trying to get with Charlie. And then he's not paying his friends back, which is crazy because he's the most trust fund baby there is, because he's still getting $10,000 a month from his dad. I will say Charlie is good for the show. He's a good antagonist. If it wasn't that stuff with Riley, which I'm glad she corrected him on and all the housewife kids were behind her, it is the stuff with Georgia, because the way I was gagged at him pointing at her saying she's a poor bee, delusional bee, and the way Georgia was fighting back, I was like, Georgia has been added to my client list because I thought she was a weirdo. But the way she was like fighting back with him, Georgia, you just need to wash your hands. And I can get with you because I do like Georgia. She has a unique sort of style. Someone I'm shocked I'm not liking is Ava. Well, her comment that she made about Ariana to Brooks was very catty to me. Like, you don't even look like you do fashion. Says the girl whose mom is a whole fashion designer and apparently picks out her looks. And I'm like, Ava has no uniqueness or individuality about her because she relies heavily on her parents and the image. Dame Dash's daughter, Rachel Roy's daughter. Like, she should, like, I'm sorry, you should probably try to figure out your own individuality while you're trying to knock someone else's. And it's like she's trying to like shun her. She's like, I mean, I don't even look at her and think fashion. I mean, Ariana's doing streetwear, but you wouldn't know. It's not like she's trying to do editorial or anything you're rocking. You know what I mean? And I really like Amira for clocking that, because she's like, why would you say that you don't even know the girl? So I'm shocked Ava made that comment. Also, Ava and Charlie should just date. They seem to really like each other. They have this weird hug every time they see each other. This weird intimateness. They should just date and become like the world's most hated couple. because we would not like that. Because do not come for Ariana. She's not sent for you. Like, Ariana is honestly like very sweet. I don't know why she would say that. It was weird to me. I'm enjoying the show. I think they're getting the same amount of ratings as The Valley, which I did watch. Congratulations to Kristen and Luke. I really like Luke for Kristen. Janet's crazy. Her yelling the whole accountability thing. Janet's crazy and she's very troubled and she has a lot of demons she needs to deal with because she's not all that. And someone says she needs to let the middle part go. And I agree. Like, I even know when it's time to let the middle part grow, let it grow out. She needs to let it go. But I'm enjoying Next Gen NYC. I think it's getting the same amount of ratings as The Valley. Therefore, Bravo is going to keep it. Because there's a bigger conversation going on reality TV. It's like, you don't need to be the highest rated show, clearly, because the audience hates Beverly Hills, but they constantly are bringing in 800K to a million. The audience doesn't like Atlanta, but they're constantly bringing in 400 to 600K. So it's just kind of like... And then also you're letting go of all the housewives and stuff that you're paying all this extra money towards. I don't think every show's gonna be like performing well, which is why I'm very upset, because Martha's Vineyard had the same ratings as Next Gen NYC and it's getting such a positive feedback. So did Family Karma, which I never got into, but I'm just saying, like, it never reads to me how they do choose to like keep certain shows around or whatever. But I digress. A show that's being super toxic is Love Island, and it's not, and it's USA. I haven't even started UK. I don't even know if I'm gonna have the capacity to start after this USA, because then we got Beyond the Villa, which I'm gonna try to watch, but it's giving so scripted and fake. The Love Island USA season 6, specifically, fans are driving me nuts. So every single time I log on, there is some new information about an islander in there, which honestly is Peacock's fault, because it's like, why are you guys pulling a bunch of influencers that this stuff can be tracked back to? Like, what happened to just casting normal people? The first 6 seasons of Love Island was very humble, wholesome. These were people just looking for love. They didn't really have all these followers. You got Ace with Artie and Millie on TikTok. You got Shelly, that's a model. You got Alandria, that's been in a video with Kirk Bangs. You got Cierra, who was already doing all of this stuff. Taylor, who apparently has worked with Pharrell. Huda, who has like all these followers on TikTok, and a lot of the girls that just said are my girls, Shelly and Alandria. And I did say Cierra before. Obviously, I've seen the screenshot, so she did use a derogatory term towards the Asian culture, something I don't know myself as a Black woman, and I think a lot of Americans don't know. Unfortunately, in Cierra's hands, this was pointed out to her prior, screenshotted of them pointing it out to her before she even went on this show. They told her, look, the term you use is derogatory. And then her response was, too bad, I didn't mean it that way. And she's proceeded to continue to use the term. So that's where I will say with Cierra, that situation is different, because it's like, someone has already told you this is unacceptable, you should not be saying this, and you're like, well, I didn't mean it that way, I'm gonna keep saying it. And it was to describe her eyes. She gets Botox because her eyes are too she thinks they are slanted, but, or they like go down or something, I don't know. Derogatory term. You know, Bella-A was in the villa. She says that she has unfollowed Cierra. She's released a whole statement. I think she's just looking for clout. Because it's like, girl. So Cierra's friends have disowned her. She's lost over like 200K followers on Instagram after almost being close to hitting 1 million. I did like Cierra. Unfortunately, I wish she could have grown from this. I pray she makes it out of the villa okay. I don't think they've given her back her phone. It's wild to me because Austin and Charlie are both MAGA Trump heads, Trumpsters, and they are consistently getting over 1 million likes on TikTok. They're now saying Huda was caught saying the N-word. We know Ulyssa left for saying that. Huda was rapping to a song and it had the N-word in it. She mouthed it. I don't know. I gotta look at the video. nothing really shocks me, especially when you're getting these influencers. Nothing really shocks me these days. My issue is with the fans. So it's just kind of like they're sending death threats. Even the stuff they were saying to Huda, the stuff they're saying to Shelly and Alandria, calling the mean girls with the whole situation. Was like, can people just be fed up? And now Cierra, she's going to have to see a therapist and really get some serious help once she gets her phone back. I really recommend her to just stay off the internet. I know it's going to be difficult, but the fans, and it just shows, and it's like, I won't even compare Love Island fans to Bravo fans, because it's like they want you to disappear off the face of the earth. They are congratulating Nick from escaping her, all of this stuff. But my thing is like, where is that energy towards Austin and Charlie? It's giving very misogynist. It's giving very performative action. And it's unfortunate that Cierra did say all of this stuff. And I hope she does take accountability once she gets out of the villa. But I do hope she's okay, because there have been a couple of, unfortunate health warning, y'all. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Suicide attempts and suicides due to reality TV, especially Love Island, because of all the hate they receive, especially from USA, UK, even the UK host, Caroline, for Maya Jama, committed suicide because, all of the backlash and a lot of like the fans like making fun of her. It's you got to be in a very protective state of mind, which is why I almost would have rather them keep Cierra to the end and just minimize her role, because now that she's getting plucked from the villa, she knows something's bad. It's very bad. I think they were hoping it was going to blow over. The fans are relentless, and it's a lot of season 6 fans, because stuff comes out. But this is why I will continue to say, before you get on reality TV, especially if you're an influencer trying to do that, even me, I want to be on reality TV. I'm not tweeting anything crazy or saying anything ever crazy. And if so, I was 10 years old or something. Well, I didn't have social media at 10. But I'm just saying, like, me at and I say this as 18 and up. I'm 25 now. I'm about to be 26 very soon. As soon as I turn 18 or whatever, you have social media. I don't think I've said, and that's just never been on my mind. But you know what? I'm sure it's never been on Cierra's mind either. I'm sure, I don't know. I just feel like even now when I talk about on my podcast, you just have to be really cognizant of who's watching, who's waiting to get you in a gotcha moment. Because the fact that someone took a screenshot, they're taking screenshots of something Alandria has said now, which I don't even think is true. They're saying stuff that this is from Huda. You're like searching. You're not even getting paid for this stuff. Imagine what lowlifes are just waiting around to see something your favorite personality, your non-favorite, has said in the past. I think we really got to get hobbies, people, because yes, it is wrong, but two wrongs don't make it right. And I don't think it's right to be terrorizing this girl, especially when she gets out the villa. It's going to be tough for her. And I really do feel for Cierra, because that is the type of hate you do not want to experience. It is getting insane. And people got to check themselves, because this is getting insane to me, how much harassment she's going through and all of this stuff for a term. And like I said, I don't condone any of it, but you got people like Austin and Charlie. I'm hearing even TJ is a Tate brother fan. It's kind of like, why is in my Candace Dillard voice, the line's always moving, and it seems to be moving for the women, not the men. And it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen with Cierra once she exits Love Island USA, but like, I can always hope that she will have a better head on her shoulders. Hopefully she takes accountability. Her friends have disowned her, the ones that were running her account, which is beyond me. Those were not her friends. And I don't think she's gotten her phone back. All the other Islanders have. Even who just got dumped? Zach, who just got dumped, he's been posting about Amaya now. He got his phone back relatively fast, I think, because he just went back to the UK. I don't think he's going to be on After Sun. I also think, I don't know if Elon's gotten it back, or maybe he's going to be on After Sun, but I don't think Cierra's gotten her phone back. And if she does get her phone back, hopefully she does not go on Twitter or Instagram, because her followers are dropping like insane, and it will always be sick to me. The season 6, I don't know. I just feel like with Love Island USA, they're treating season 6 as this like holy grail, when it's like Love Island season 4 exists. USA season 5 was even good. Love Island UK season 5, 6, 7, 10. They're treating season 6 like an end all be all because they keep comparing everything to PPG, Cordell, all that stuff. It's getting out of hand. Love Island USA is supposed to end this Sunday. Final couples, Huda and Chris, Nick and Alandria, Taylor and Clark, Iris and Pepe, Ace and Shelly. I think that's everyone. That's everyone. I think the final 4 couples are going to be Ace and Shelly, Nick and Alandria. Oh, Amaya and Brian for sure, because people love Amaya. I'm rooting for Amaya. And then I think they're going to bring Huda and Chris to the finale, which is insane because it's like Huda literally ruined the experience for people the first half of the show. And now all of a sudden people are like, she's winning with Chris, when I just feel like, I don't even think her and Chris are gonna last, but people are so shocked that there's like no love. A lot of times when you watch Love Island, especially like the past seasons, a lot of times the fans, the audience carry their fan favorites to the end. Like, and I will even use season 5, Amber for winning over Molly May and Tom Fury as an example. People just loved Amber so much they wanted her to win in the UK, and she won. Molly May and Tommy Fury came in second place, and they even went on to have a baby and get married. Like, that was true love. They're still trying to work their stuff out with all his drinking addictions, but it's not far-fetched to me to believe that a lot of these couples aren't going to make it. I think season 6 is very rare where 3 couples out of the finishing 4 actually still are together. I'm like waiting for an announcement any moment now that like they're broken up, because it's not shocking to me. Like, it's like Love Island. But this season, I only truly really see Amaya and Brian lasting, and also maybe Ace and Shelly. The only reason I'm not totally on board with that is because it's a 5-year age gap, and it's like 22, 27. It's not like 27, 32. Like, it's a huge age gap. But yeah, Love Island's been off the chain. Can't wait for that to end. Definitely watch Next Gen NYC. The Valley was getting good. I'm really happy for Kristen and Luke. And tap into Real Housewives of Miami. But I will have to say, people are being super toxic in this Toxic But It's Tuesday episode. It's definitely the Love Island fans and Julia from Miami. Like, I can't with her. And then, of course, Aaron from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for filing for divorce from Denise Richards and asking for spousal support after being together for 6 years. Like, what spousal support? You don't have any kids together. Like, good luck winning that. But that was your Toxic But It's Tuesday episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you guys are listening on YouTube, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure, if you're listening through the podcast on Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, leave me a 5-star rating and a comment. I'll see you guys next time.